What's up, guys? John Bird III here. We're back again for another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about my top 5 pond fishing baits. So over this past week, I had a couple of days where I went out to a pond and I was fishing around, and I thought about, well, this could be a great video to talk about what are my top 5 favorite pond baits. And these are some baits that I actually caught them on. A couple of them I didn't, but I actually tried. And so these options here will allow you to fish ponds that have grass, hard bottom, lily pads, and a little bit of everything. So you definitely want to stay tuned for this video. So we're going to jump right into it. So one of the top baits that I have right here is the KVD Sexy Frog. So the reason why I chose the Sexy Frog over a popping frog is simple. When you have lily pads that cup mount on a popping frog, tends to get caught up in the lily pad. So, and this happened to me this week. So when I switched to the Sexy Frog, which is a walking style frog, but it also has the pointed nose to it, it's easier for it to come through those pads. And sometimes you can actually like just straight reel it and it would just come over the top of the pads like that too. So that can trigger some strikes as well. And so I like this KVD Sexy Frog. I think it's perfect for, like I said, when those lily pads, even like some sparse grass, because there was some coontail that was coming up out of the pond and stuff like that. So there was emergent and submergent coontail, and then it was also mixed in with some pads. And I was actually throwing this in the holes of the coontail, and they were coming up and just grabbing, and I was just snatching them up out of there. And so in this video also, we're not going to talk about rods and reels, but we're just going to focus on the baits. Somebody left a comment, and that's why we're just going to talk about the baits only. But if you want to learn more about these combos that go along with these baits, just go back, look at the previous playlist, and look at all the videos I got thus far. And if you see one that, if you see a particular combo that's missing for a certain technique, put it down in the comment section and let me know. That way we can do a video on that. So again, KVD Sexy Frog. My second bait is this right here in particular is the Cutle Worm. And so I like the Cutle Worm because you can swim it. And then if you get bit and the tail comes off, you can fish it like a regular stick bait, like a Cinco. And so this is the regular 6-inch Cutle Worm. And so the Magnum one is definitely a lot bigger, but I feel like in ponds, you can definitely go with the regular size Cutle Worm. And now water clarity is really going to be contingent upon what color bait you need to throw. So if the water is a little bit murky or dirty looking, you go black and blue. Can't go wrong with that. If it's very, very clear, you can go green pumpkin, or you can throw this red bug color right here, and that'll work well also. And then also a good color that I use also is summer craw. So I caught one this week on summer craw, and literally I just pitched it in front of the grass, and I literally just kind of got spaced out, and I looked at something on my phone, and I felt tap tap, and I set the hook, snatched them up out of there. And so summer craw, green pumpkin, red bug, black and blue. I mean, just keep it simple because, again, we're pond fishing. We're not out on the lake. And to be honest, we just really need to keep our fishing straight simple. Don't overcomplicate your colors. Don't be doing all this and that. Like, that really just more so just spins you out. So try to keep things as simple as possible. So one of my favorite saying is the abbreviation of KISS. And I say keep it super simple. And I try to apply that every part of my life. So with fishing, keep it super simple. Use natural colors. And then when it gets dirty, a black and blue or all black, June bug, something like that, that works perfect. Now this bait here, you know this is one of my favorites, and that is the Hybrid Hunter. So the Hybrid Hunter, again, if you got grass, this is perfect because if it has like hydrilla in it, you can reel it, and once you feel the hydrilla, you just lift it up over the hydrilla, and the fish will come up out the grass and get it. And so this is a great bait to allow you to cover a lot of water. It only dives 4 to 5 feet, but if you get the shallow version, it actually rides a lot higher in the water column. I think it only dives 2 to 3 feet. And so, or a foot to a 3 foot, something like that. And so if you have both of them, you can kind of find which one that's going to work the best for you. So you can get the standard one that dives 3 to 5 or the shallow version that dives 1 to 3. And then I will say, since you're pond fishing, you can't go wrong with using just the junior size of the Hybrid Hunter. You can throw the big one, but I feel like just because you're fishing a pond, big one, small one, whatever, throw the junior, you'll be perfectly fine. I was fishing Santee a couple months ago, and we had a big tournament out there, and I was throwing the junior, and I caught basically 2 8-pounders on it. So you don't necessarily have to throw the big one, but the big one allows you to pull out a lot of fish that didn't really feel like biting. They would come out there and just come and look at the thing because the big one causes so much disturbance in the water. But this one right here, it has a very, very tight action, but it also has a wide wobble as well. It's kind of a mixture of a wide wobble and tight action at the same time. Sound kind of contradictory, but you have to fish it to really see what I'm talking about. But right here, I mean, it's a great bait, especially if there's grass. And this color right here, this is citrus shad, but you have to figure out what color is gonna work best. So I like to do like citrus shad if the water again is a little bit dingy. You can also go with bully, which is like a chartreuse looking one with like a black spatter back, and then it has like a little bit of green under, like right under here. So that's a great color. If it's super clear, green gizzard. I mean, those are a couple great color options that you can pick. And then, I mean, and also another one, especially if there's a lot of bluegill in there, use the killer gear color. That'll work amazing. All right, the next one, again, we're covering water, but some form of top water. So this right here is the Mock Patroller. And so this is the 90 size. This is the smaller one. You can get the bigger size. It's really kind of just up to you. But the 90 size is a great all around size. So if you can walk down like the dam of the pond and throw this along the dam where there's riprap, even if there's grass, but of course you don't throw this in the grass because it has treble hooks. I mean, come on. But you throw this along the riprap wall and they will come and bite this too. And so this is a great bait, especially like early in the morning. You getting out there with like right before safe light and it's just like you just barely have a little bit of light along the pond. This will work perfect. And so make sure you have something. So you want to cover water. You want something that you can cover the water at the bottom or swimming through the water column, and something on top that you can basically cover water across the top. And then the way that this separates from the frog, you're throwing the frog inside of the grass. This will go along the grass line or along the riprap wall. And that's why I will pick the patroller. And then the plopping sound of it creates a very, very unique sound. And so again, once you throwing something that has some type of disturbance on top of the water, it has a unique sound, and the size is not too big, like it's great. So you can never go wrong with some type of plopping style bait. But right here, the Patroller 90 in Sexy Shad 2.0, it's a great color. And then you can also go with some of the other colors. I think there's a white one that has like an orange belly. I forget the name of that one. That's another great option as well. So any type of shad or bluegill pattern, those are really the colors that you want to stick with. But also sometimes when that water is really dirty, you want something that stands out a lot, which is why I say that white one that kind of has that orange belly, because that's a great one to use as well. And my final bait is something to flip. So that is the Rage Scound Bug. And this one here is the 4-inch version. So you can go with the 3.5, but I like the 4-inch version. I tend to go with a little bit bigger baits when I'm flipping, but this one here is great. And so you can pitch it in the holes of the grass. So whereas you have the Cutle Worm, you're kind of going alongside the grass or coming through the grass if you're out in the middle of if you're casting into the middle of the pond. But this right here, you can actually pitch this into the holes if they're like wood laydowns on pond as well. You can also pitch that along the laydowns as well. So this and the Cutle Worm kind of play hand in hand, but you always want like a worm style bait, because a worm style bait tend to work very, very well in ponds. And then, like I said, again, some form of creature bait, which is why I chose the Rage Scound Bug in the 4-inch. And you can also put it on the back of a thunder cricket or a swim jig or a traditional jig also if you want to throw a traditional jig. So this bait right here can be used for a lot of different other applications. And also if the grass is a little bit thick and you want to pitch actually a bigger weight, kind of something like punching but not like super heavy duty, you can also punch this one or go down to the smaller size of the Scound Bug, the 3.5, and that will work perfect. So that's it for my top 5 pond fishing baits. These are a lot of baits that I used this week, and I thought about it. Like I said, it would be a great video to talk about. And again, somebody left a comment about this, which is why I was like, well, I just did this and now I can talk about from my experience. I don't pond fish a whole lot, to be honest, but it was great to just get back to fishing from the bank a little bit. Haven't done it in a while, and it kind of takes me back to my roots and stuff like that. And then it also made me think outside of the box of how can I get the most bites and be the most effective on the water, even though I'm fishing the pond, but also how I can keep it super simple. Keep it super simple. So I simplified my colors, I simplified my baits, and I fished what I could see around me. And also sometimes I could see part of the grass that was floating on top of the water as well. And so I just took all my knowledge of what I was normally doing on a lake, and normally lakes are very, I guess you could say, like, it can cause you to think way outside the box, where in a pond you try to just keep it simple because it's nowhere near as deep as a lake, and you just want to always just simplify the stuff as much as you can, even if you're fishing on a lake. Again, even if you're fishing on the lake, keep it super simple. So that's it for today's video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm JB3. I got to get back to living the dream. I'll catch you later.